What's going on, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? This is Hi-Rez here, bringing you another episode of Free-to-Play Friday, and today we're going to be checking out a game from Hi-Rez Studios. The name of the game is Smite. This is a laning-style MOBA game from Hi-Rez Studios, and the cool thing about this game is that instead of playing random heroes or random champions, you're actually playing gods from various pantheons. You've got Hindu, Chinese, Roman, Greek, all that kind of good stuff combined, Norse gods as well as goddesses. So for the most part, the actual mechanics of the game as far as the laning and all this stuff for the main conquest style game is fairly straightforward. But one very big catch is that it's a third-person perspective. It's not a top-down sort of click-to-move, more strategy game style movement. You're using WASD, and you're using 1, 2, 3, and 4 to activate your skills, as well as a few other keys to activate some active abilities or potions and that sort of thing. So right off the bat, there's something very interesting and very cool about this game that you wouldn't get in other standard laning MOBA games. It's something that I definitely appreciate coming from playing WoW PvP. It kind of gives me a certain amount of familiarity there that I didn't have when I first started playing League of Legends. So that's pretty cool. There's a whole bunch of gods so far. There's 29 gods, I believe, that have come out, all from various pantheons, as I mentioned. You've ranging from melee to range to magic to physical. You've got your tanks. You've got your more support-focused characters. They all have 3 activated abilities as well as 1 ultimate ability. Also, they have 1 passive ability. So that was pretty, that's fairly standard, fairly straightforward. The game is completely free to play, of course, and you have towers in the lanes that go to a phoenix, and the phoenix, if you take down the phoenix, it is sort of like an inhibitor. Your minions get more powerful. They sort of have like flaming weapons that deal more damage. And then there's a minotaur at the very end. So instead of just destroying the enemy's base or whatever, they have a minotaur that actually guards their base, which is pretty cool. So that way, there's sort of like a last final boss, even though if you're high enough level, it's really not difficult at all. As far as in-game, there's a shop where you can buy all your items, your potions, your boots, you've got all kinds of magical lifesteal, physical lifesteal, defenses, health, critical strike chance, attack speed. You've got all kinds of stuff to work with, various hit-on effects for the weapons. The way it works is that you upgrade your weapon. You start with the bottom tier of it, and you work your way up to like level 3 of the weapon. And generally, at level 3 of a weapon is as high as it goes, and that's where you're going to get your passive ability or on-hit ability that's going to come with the third level of the item. The game is fully free to play. There is a cash shop, or rather the ability to use gems, which would be the real money currency, to buy gods at you can buy gods for gems. You can also buy skins for gems. But any of the gods you can buy with favor, which is the in-game currency. Also, some of the skins, which I think is a really cool idea, some of the skins you can actually buy with favor. So if you're sitting around with a bunch of extra favor, you don't have to, just not have anything to spend it on and just wait for the next god to come out or whatever. You can actually use it to buy some skins, which they are fairly expensive to buy with. I think skins with gems are pretty expensive, as well as the skins with the favor are both pretty expensive. Well, that's just my opinion. I think it's it would cost $8. If you bought $8 worth of gems, you could buy 1 of the sort of real skins that aren't just recolors. Basically, the skins that you buy with a favor, which you can also buy for $4 worth of gems, are just recolors. They're not, I guess, technically skins. So I don't know if they're technically skins or not, but they're recolors, basically. And other than that, the actual in-game balance seems to be pretty good. The whole game, of course, is focused around PvP as it's a MOBA game. You know, we have complaints here and there about balance. Right now, in the regular Conquest matches, you can ban, each team can ban one god, so that helps with that. There's no actually drafting yet in the regular mode, but in ranked, there's going to be drafting involved. Another thing, this game just launched into open beta, so this is a reason. I have done a few videos on this game before, but as it is going from closed beta to open beta and has a lot of new features and things to offer, so that's why I'm revisiting this game and giving it some time on free-to-play Friday. So this game, definitely not from what I described to you guys about what you could buy for cash. Obviously, the game is not pay to win whatsoever. Cosmetic items as well as being able to buy the gods possibly maybe a bit earlier is the only real thing that's going to be different. There are other game modes to this game as well. This is the main game mode is Conquest, which is the laning style. There's also a game mode that's pretty cool called Arena, which you can, you're kind of in a big arena, big Roman-looking arena, and you're fighting. There's minions also, but it's just one sort of giant open lane where it's sort of you're always on the edge of a team fight if you're not in the middle of one, which I think is it's a very fun game type. It's not as competitive, not as worried if someone happens to feed or something like that. It's not as big of a deal. You start at level 3 and you gain gold and experience very quickly, so it's not as big of a deal as far as being super competitive. Oh, there's another game mode called Domination as well, and that game mode is sort of control the territories. There's 3 territories that you can control, and when you control them, a tower pops up in the middle, which will attack any enemy players in the area. And if you kill it, then you take over the tower, and basically you're just competing for resources or what have you, time holding the points of interest. And there are, of course, there's a tutorial as well as a solo game that you can play against the computer, which will just give you a basic intro, or just give you a chance to play against Ra, which is one of the gods, to just sort of test out a new god or test out a new build, something like that, with just one solo lane playing against the computer. So this game, as far as being competitive, is it's actually gotten onto the tournament scene, considering the game's in beta, and even when it started sort of getting in and getting tournaments and things, it was still in closed beta, so it seemed to be jumping on that sort of stuff pretty quickly, and that's something that I think is really cool. There's definitely a competitive community for this game and people that take it very seriously, and actually a friend of mine who I used to play with a lot actually is on a team that does play in the tournaments and all that kind of good stuff, so that's pretty cool to see somebody that we played with when we first started playing the game being able to compete well in tournaments and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty neat. So Meow, if you're watching this, shout out to you, buddy. His team is Omega Gaming, by the way. So if you see them on the tournament charts, Mr. Meow is a buddy of mine. Also, if anyone is interested in checking this game out that has not played it, I will have a link in the description, which will be showing a link that you can follow to go right to the Hi-Rez Studios website, right to their downloads page, and click the download, and you can go ahead and get that started. Full disclosure, it is a recruit a friend, sort of refer a friend link, so I will get some favor depending on how high a level you guys get or whatnot. So it's something cool that if you're interested, you can help me out by doing that, by clicking on the link and downloading it from the link in the video description, and I would, of course, appreciate it. One of the other cool things I would like to note about this game is that as it's third person, and all of your shots are skill shots, so there's no locking on, no targeting system. If you're arranged, you're gonna fire your attacks out, and if they hit, they hit. If they dodge them, they dodge them. All that kind of good stuff. So that's another cool feature of the game. Alright guys, this has been Free to Play Friday, checking out Smite from Hi-Rez Studios. Once again, if you would like to check out the game, follow the link in the description to download the game and create an account on Hi-Rez Studios website, and enjoy. Other than that, please don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you did indeed like it. Leave a comment if there are any games that you'd be interested in seeing in next week's Free to Play Friday. Other than that, have a good day, and remember, stay nerdy, my friends.